Subscribe, hype, like, click the notification bell and turn on all notifications. And donate with a super thanks donation in the comments section below for the unfiltered, unapologetic Sean's View End. Your home for WWE news, rumors, and backstage chaos. This is where gossip gets exposed around the clock. Now, here's your host, the brash Sean's View End.
Just hours before Monday Night Raw tonight on Netflix, WWE facing an emergency. WWE stars with TKO. The flow of the show, the intersection, the interwind is going to happen right here and right now. WWE may have a serious backstage problem developing, and this one is brewing quickly. This one is sweeping the globe, it is sweeping the nation, and it is blowing up in your faces just like July the 4th fireworks. And this one is starting to sound a lot bigger than just Sheamus leaving WWE. According to a new report making the rounds, there is said to be real frustration among several longtime WWE stars over the way TKO has been handling recent contract talks with its WWE stars. The belief backstage is reportedly that certain talent who stayed loyal to WWE for all these years, even when AEW was offering major money, are now being offered deals that are smaller than what they were originally on. That is where this entire situation starts to get very volatile, because this is no longer just a Sheamus story about leaving WWE after 19 years of service to the company. This is now turning into a possible locker room morale story. The report claims that several WWE stars are not happy with the current contract restructuring under TKO. The frustration reportedly comes from the idea that some long-time talent feel that they showed loyalty to WWE when the company needed it most, but now they may not be getting that same loyalty back in return. And that, viewers, that is a huge deal. Because when AEW first launched and started offering major contracts, WWE had a lot of talent who could have jumped. Some stars stayed. Some reportedly turned down bigger offers elsewhere. Some believe WWE was the safer long-term home. But now, ladies and gentlemen, under TKO, the feeling, viewers, the feeling from some people backstage is reportedly very different. The word going around is that several stars are irritated because fans think they are simply choosing not to renew, okay? When in reality, some of them may be getting offers that are much lower than their old deals. And of course, this is leading to rumors and gossip of a walkout, of sabotage, of a mutiny, taking a stand. I mean, there's a lot of things that could go on here. But this completely changes the course. This changes the conversation in the WWE. Because from the outside, fans may see a WWE star leave. They may see a WWE star leave and they say they want it out. But backstage, the real story could be that WWE or TKO did not offer the kind of deal that made them feel valid enough to stay. And now Sheamus may be the name putting a spotlight on this entire issue. Sheamus being moved to the alumni section caused immediate panic among fans. Now, to be clear, website roster pages, they can change, mistakes can happen, and WWE is not officially confirmed that Sheamus is gone, but his contract is coming up, and the belief is that Sheamus is indeed, well, gone. I know there's some confliction here. But when that happened, at the same time, report service about WWE stars being unhappy with TKO's contract restructuring, fans instantly connected the dots. And honestly, it is easy to see why. Sheamus is not just another name, ladies and gentlemen. Sheamus is one of the most respected veterans in the WWE locker room. Here is a man that is a former WWE champion, a former World Heavyweight champion, Royal Rumble winner, Money in the Bank winner, United States champion, Tag Team champion. He has been around for years. He has delivered banger after banger after banger after banger after banger. He has delivered in big matches. He's won the Royal Rumble. He's main evented and headlined WrestleMania. And he is widely viewed as someone who gave a lot to the company. And now a lot of that company is not giving back to him. And, you know, here's the other thing about it. They couldn't just pull the trigger and let Sheamus be. I don't even know if I can put it to words, guys, because it's very sad. It's very horrible. But they couldn't even let Sheamus be that Grand Slam champion, okay? They couldn't do it. The WWE just couldn't do it. Because if a guy like Sheamus can end up in this position, other stars may start asking the same question. Who is next? And that is where the TKO situation becomes a real storyline behind the scenes, but it could turn into real life. Because under this new WWE structure, things appear to be more business-driven than ever before. And this is all before hours before WWE Raw tonight. The company is making huge money. WWE is harder than it's ever been in years. The gates are strong. TV money is massive. You know, we all know about that Saudi Arabia deal, and the roster is getting more mainstream attention. But at the same time, if talent are being told that their new deals may not match what they had before, that can create serious resentment. Because wrestlers are going to look at the success of WWE and ask why the company is making record money while some talent are reportedly asked to take less. That is the kind of thing that splits a locker room. And according to the report, some longtime names are already unhappy, okay? Now, this does not mean everyone is walking out tomorrow. It does not mean Sheamus is officially AEW bound. However, Sheamus does have a wide open door to go to any wrestling or any promotion if he so chooses fit, okay? But it does mean that this is something fans need to watch very closely because contract frustration can turn into real departures very quickly. 1 star leaving is a rumor. 2 stars leaving is a pattern. 3 or 4 stars leaving because of lower offers becomes a major WWE problem with TKO. And that is why this Sheamus story could be the warning sign. Because if Sheamus leaving WWE due to the situation, fans are immediately going to start looking at every other veteran whose contract may be coming up. They are going to ask about long-time stars. They are going to ask about tag teams. They are going to ask about names who have not been used heavily on television. They are going to ask about wrestlers who may not feel undervalued in the TKO era. They may feel undervalued. And AEW is going to be watching all of it, okay? And that is another major part of this story because even if AEW is not in the same position it was a few years ago, Tony Khan has still shown he is willing to spend money on recognizable names. A respected WWE veteran like Sheamus would absolutely create buzz if he became available to AEW. And if multiple WWE stars start feeling they are abandoned or lowballed by TKO, AEW does not need to sign everyone. They only need to sign the right few names to make this look bad for the WWE. That is the danger for TKO. Because if fans start believing WWE is pushing our loyal veterans, that becomes a public perception. WWE can say it is business. TKO can say they are being smarter with contracts. But fans do not always see it that way. Fans see wrestlers they grow up watching. They see people who, some might say, Sheamus is the reason they got into wrestling. Or you could look at another veteran like Kofi Kingston. You could say that you got invigorated by Kofi Kingston and Kofi Mania, winning the WWE title. You got to understand now, these are 2 former world champions in Kofi Kingston and Sheamus, who came up around the same time, and now they are both gone like it never mattered. No announcement, just canceled, just off the radar. Absolutely unbelievable at this hour and at this time. And according to the report, here we go. We got more news coming in, guys. This is why we do multiple videos a day. We got more news coming in about this. Some WWE talent are already annoyed over how this whole situation is coming across. And the big issue is loyalty. The report specifically mentioned the idea that long-term stars who are there for a long time feel WWE is not being loyal to people who are loyal to the company, and that is a very strong backstage complaint. Because other talent start believing loyalty does not matter, negotiations get much colder. And at that point, wrestlers may stop thinking emotionally and start thinking like free agents. They may say, why should I take less to stay? They may say, why should I turn down AEW money again? And they may say, why should I trust WWE to take care of me later? That is how the locker room shifts. And if WWE is not careful, Sheamus could become the example that other stars point to. They could look up to Sheamus, okay? Sheamus knows his worth. This becomes the moment where certain WWE names start testing the market instead of automatically re-signing. And that is exactly why this feels like an emergency story. Not because the WWE is collapsing, but there's panic. Okay, walking on eggshells. We've used that term a lot over the last several months, okay? Not because WWE is collapsing, not because everyone is leaving tonight, but because this could be the beginning of a bigger roster shakeup under TKO. And Triple H could be caught in the very middle of all of this. Creatively, Triple H may want certain talent around. He may value certain veterans. He may want depth on Raw and SmackDown. But if the business side decides a certain contract number is too high, Triple H and TKO may not have the final say on who those wrestlers are being offered. Excuse me, Triple H, not TKO on that one. That creates a major problem because the fans may blame Triple H, okay, when someone leaves. Talent may blame TKO. TKO may see it as a normal contract restructuring, but the public sees it and they see the final result. And if that final result is Sheamus leaving WWE, followed by more long-time names possibly walking away, the backlash could be absolutely massive. WWE is supposed to be entering a huge period, right? Raw, SmackDown, SummerSlam, international shows, major TV deals, Raw in Chicago tonight, perhaps the return of CM Punk. Maybe we'll see a brand new undisputed WWE champion tonight. And the entire TKO era are all supposed to make the company feel bigger than ever. But while WWE is growing, some talent may be wondering if their own value is shrinking. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the real story. And that is why fans should pay close attention to what happens next. Because if Sheamus suddenly returns to WWE television, maybe the situation gets cooled down. If WWE updates his status and clears everything up, maybe the panic slows down. But if Sheamus stays off TV, if the alumni section situation remains unexplained, and if more reports come out about unhappy WWE talent, then this story is only going to get bigger. The next few weeks could tell us a whole hell of a lot. Does WWE bring Sheamus back? Does TKO adjust its approach? Does more names become part of the conversation? Does AEW start sniffing around? And more importantly, are more long-time WWE stars now willing to leave the company than they were before? Are they more willing to leave than they were before? Because once that mindset changes, it is hard to reverse. For years, WWE had the advantage because talent viewed it as the ultimate destination. But now, more options in the wrestling, streaming, podcast, conventions, and outside projects. Stars do not have to accept every offer WWE puts in front of them. And that is what makes this TKO contract situation very dangerous for them. The roster may be happy publicly. The shows may be doing well. The company may be harder than ever. But backstage, if certain talent feel undervalued, underwhelmed, that frustration can quietly and quickly build until someone finally leaves, like Sheamus. And when one major name leaves, everyone starts talking. And that may be what is happening with Sheamus right now. He may not just be one isolated case. He may be the first name fans are watching in on who could become a much bigger TKO contract story. So the question now is simple. Is Sheamus really done with the WWE? It would appear so. Are more stars preparing to leave because of TKO's new contract strategy? Perhaps. And is WWE about to face a wave of veteran talent testing the market? Because based on this report, there is real frustration backstage. And if this frustration turns into action, WWE could be looking at one of the biggest locker room stories of the year. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think Sheamus is leaving the WWE? Do you think TKO is lowballing longtime stars? And who do you think could be next if more WWE talent decide to walk away? Viewers, fans, and subscribers, this is your ultimate destination where I will always make sure it is your way, where we give you the stability, where we give you the exclusives. Also, viewers, fans, and subscribers, at this hour, we are receiving word that Chelsea Green shuts down fan who accused her of being MAGA. That's the MAGA. Chelsea Green will let fans take shots at her wrestling or her looks, but she is not letting anyone put fake politics on her name. Janelle Grant questions what WWE executives knew about Vince McMahon's evidence, as Janelle Grant has put in WWE's 2022 Vince McMahon's investigation back in the spotlight once again. And this time, her question is simple. What did the WWE executives know? And who saw the evidence? There is no board of public company that would have a CEO with this kind of evidence against them. Again, there is no board of a public company that would have a CEO with this kind of evidence against them. Grant also shared a deposition testimony where Michelle McKenna was asked if those text messages was a major event in the McMahon being forced to step down. McKenna answered yes. So once you had the information that you had as of Vince's retirement, you thought that the requirement that he had been absent from the day-to-day operations of the company was a legitimate position, right? Yes, and I also recommend the same to Vince. The strongest part came from McKenna's testimony about the allegations and what they looked like. She was asked if it seemed like it was an affair. She said no. Then she was asked if it looked darker and more sexual abuse. She said yes. And this is why Grant is asking who inside WWE saw the evidence, who got readouts, and where any copies or summaries are now. He says explicit material involving her was used without her knowledge or consent during the investigation. This update puts the focus back on WWE's own investigation, not just Grant's lawsuit. Grant is now asking what WWE executives knew about the Vince McMahon evidence and how it was handled and why she says she was never told. What do you think Janelle Grant's questioning about WWE executives knew about Vince McMahon's evidence? And drop your thoughts in the comments section below. Ladies and gentlemen, it's all about you because this show falls in the hands of the viewers, the fans, and the subscribers. Plenty more to come where we keep you up to date on the hottest, the latest, the greatest, the newest, the most defiant. Without you, there is no show in view. We keep you clued in to keep you in the know. Why? Because I said so. Plenty more to come on a night where Sami Zayn puts up the undisputed WWE title, where Pretty much, the whole world thinks he's going to lose tonight. Well, the WWE, are they about to take a swift direction that you didn't see coming? Subscribe.